Buddy, it's great to be here one more time today. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I'm the CEO, president, and founder of GSD Get Shit Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. Although today I'm in beautiful, sunny Florida, although it's a little late tonight. And with that, I'd like to introduce my incredible guest, Kingsley Kobayashi. He's a CEO and chairman at the Kobayashi Group from Japan. So Kingsley moved to Japan many years ago, set up a trading company, Kobayashi Group, Harry King's International, and he's been involved in all kinds of sectors, and he's an all-around good guy, so I'd like to bring him on board today. Hi, Kingsley. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, good morning, Gary. How are you doing? It's morning here in Tokyo, and rainy morning, cold morning, but it's a beautiful day. I look forward to having a good discussion with you.
So I got a question for you. What made you decide to move to Japan? Did you just wake up one morning and said, you know something? I want some really good sushi. I'm going to head over to Japan and get it right from the source. What was that all about?
Yeah, I wasn't actually looking forward to the sushi per se. That was about 30 years ago, and we are looking for greener pastures, looking for a better environment to be able to do business. And actually started by trading between Nigeria and Hong Kong and other Asia countries. And later, when I got to Japan, I fell in love with the culture, the people, the way they do business, and their humbleness. It was just different.
So how is it? So when you came over, was it shock? I mean, in Nigeria, I know we went to Lagos, and it's a lot different there. How was it coming over? Because it's like normal and, pretty civilized and all that. How long did it take you to get adjusted, and did you get bored?
No. I mean, it was a big challenge. I didn't understand the language at all. I didn't even know how to say hello. And you come into a country where at that time, less than 10% of the population actually spoke English. So, and you just have no choice but to study the language, get to know the people. It was difficult, but we had a church here that actually helped us by giving us teachers for free to teach us the language, which was really good. It helped us a lot.
And so as you're going down through this journey, like what were some of the things, if you take about three things that really stuck out to you? So you come over from Nigeria, you're there, you don't understand the language. What are three things you just said, boy, that's a lot different than Nigeria?
First of all, is the humbleness of the people, the orderliness. You've been to Lagos. Lagos, every man is on his own, doing everything the way he wants to do it. But in Tokyo, you have everything organized that, you just have to follow the guidelines and the rules. It's almost like robotic, right? The way they do things. And then you see the cleanness of the country. And then people don't have to worry about security. You don't have to look back if somebody's going to stab you or somebody's going to push you out of the way. The most important part was there was power 24/7. There's power outages in other countries of the world, even in America, but here there are no power outages except there's a big earthquake or something, and it comes back right away. That's one of the best things I've seen in the world. I've traveled a lot, and to be honest with you, I love Japan.
Well, so you go over there, you come into Japan. Were they accepting of you, Kingsley, when you came in? You didn't speak any Japanese. How in the world would you get to be friends with people?
Well, in the beginning, they were kind of distant. They are still distant. They are very private people. At that time, to be honest, I am immune to kind of racism or things like that. It was very rampant at that time. It's everywhere in the world. But you have to understand that it is the lowest people in every society that are racist because they don't understand. They don't actually know that we can all work together. So they are scared of you for who you are. But I use reverse psychology. You can be hating me as long as I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm happy doing it and you are not disturbing me. I don't have a problem with you. And that has actually worked for us in Japan, unlike Europe and other countries that I've been to. They give you the opportunity. They may not like you, but they don't stop you from doing what you are doing.
Oh, that's great. And so now when you're over there, I know you don't drive a Japanese car. You drive a G-Wagon, right?
Yep.
And why did you do that? Because you got these beautiful Lexuses and everything over there and Land Cruisers. Why in the world would you get a G-Wagon?
Okay. I have had my fill of many Japanese cars. I've driven every Japanese cars: Toyota, Lexus, Honda, all of them. The G wagon was actually not my thing because I love sports cars or saloon cars. But the G wagon was something that came in, and I got the first one, and I had an accident. I think that was 2 years ago, and the G wagon saved my life. To be honest with you, the G wagon. I'm here today because I was driving a G wagon.
Wow.
Because somebody ran into me at 100 kilometers per hour. He beat the red light, and I was lucky to be alive. So my next car was like, okay, I'm still going to get a G wagon. So me and my wife agreed to get one more G wagon, and I'm loving the G wagon. Actually, I love it.
That's great. And so, do you stand out with the G wagon over there? Since nobody are they? I don't know. In some places in the U.S., if you ride around in a G wagon, people are looking. Are they checking out, saying, "Whoa, what kind of car is this?"
Yeah, people look at it. It's not only G wagon. It's the black magnitude G wagon, which is really rare to find. People look at it. People look at me. But in Japan, as long as you are paying your taxes, you are doing everything correctly. Uh, they're not going to shoot you down, right? That is the beauty of this country. The beauty of this country is that they can hate you, they cannot like you, but they are not going to just get you down because of that. They're going to, other countries, yes, you may have, even in Africa, even in America, you may start having problem with security problem, but we don't have that here. So we live in a very civilized society.
Can you walk around at night without anything? No problem. There's not going to be anybody jumping you or trying to steal your
No, no,
stuff.
no. No. Children can even walk around at night. Women can walk around at night. You can move from one place to the other without thinking
You
you're
walk
going to have
around
a
at night.
problem.
You can have a big Rolex and all this stuff, and no problems at
Yeah,
all.
I walk around like this. I walk around like this. Nothing. No. It doesn't happen here.
So why
Recently you have.
things like why does that happen?
It's a police country to start with. It's a police country to start with. You realize there are cameras everywhere. There's been a spate of robbery in the past 1 or 2 weeks. Uh, it's going to start happening now with the economic situation around the world, with the people coming out from the coronavirus. But they have cameras everywhere that will track you down. So they're able to track these people down right from the car they were driving, the car park they were parked in, and things like that. So you have to think twice before you start committing any crime. There are cameras on the train, on the roads, and things like that. So they know how to do their job. They know how to do their job.
So,
Yes,
so
recently
there's cameras everywhere, huh?
Hmm?
Cameras
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh yes. It is in a situation where you even have a fight. It's a question of who hit first. So they have cameras to detect, okay, who guy was wrong, who hit the other guy first. So things like this are very common here. So you don't have any serious crime rate here.
That's interesting. And what about the work ethic? You used to see these companies that go to Hitachi their whole life. Is it still like that, where they'll go into one company and they come out of college and they're all wearing the same uniform and everything? Is that still happen or not?
Yeah, it still happens. That is the aim. That is the aim. But you have to understand that with the internet and TV and things coming up, people are changing. The new generation are now more prone to having a life. When I came here, people would work from 5 a.m. to 12 midnight because that was
Wow.
what they knew how to write. But in the past years, we have what is called koroshi, when you overwork and people die at work and things like that. So they've made regulations and made rules to make that better. So you have people now doing different businesses apart from just working in the factories,
Yeah.
because they used to work in the factories, they used to work in the company, and the factories and the companies they work for was that like their life. They didn't have a life out of that. But the younger generation are actually now, more pro to life in US or life in Europe. And you actually have a lot of Japanese driving jeeps now. When I came here, if I was driving my S-Class Mercedes Benz at that time, you stand out. If you were driving your SL, you stand out. But right now, it's everywhere. You have G-Wagon
Wow.
everywhere. You have Wrangler everywhere. You have the best cars everywhere. Whether it's Porsche, any best car is right here. It's
Have you ever
Lamborghini.
seen the new Corvettes over there, Kingsley?
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
I think that's a car for you. Seriously, you want to stand out right now? You get one of those top end freaking Corvettes. You'll be tooling around there. People are gonna say, "Who's that guy?"
My thing is this: if you're gonna buy a fast car, buy it in a country you can drive it. In Japan, speed limit is very strict. Even on the highways, you only have up to 80 kilometers somewhere.
Really?
So you are, oh yes, you are. They have the best roads in the world. They have the best road network in the world, but the speed limit is very strict, and they're very strict with it. So there is no need buying a fast car when you cannot drive fast. That is my own opinion.
What happens if you get caught speeding? If you go 100 in an 80 zone, what happens?
You get arrested. You get a fine. If you go 180, you get your driver license taken from you right away on the spot.
Wow.
Oh yes, and you pay a fine. You pay a fine, and they will take your license from you. Even when you on a 30-kilometer road, if you are going 50, 60, they will still stop you. They have cameras everywhere that will just.
Wow.
Yeah,
and so when they stop you, what do they do? How much is a ticket? Let's say you're going, it's an 80 zone and you're going 95. What kind of ticket do you get for doing that stuff?
Yeah, maybe $150, $300. But once it goes above that, it goes up like $1,000, $2,000, and then and every time you lose a point, and you have only 3 points. So when you do lose 3 points, they take your license. You have to go back to school, right? So, but if it's a big one, they take your license right away. And
wow, that's crazy.
They are very strict. They're very strict. That is why there is low crime, low accidents and things like that in the country. It's controlled.
And so, what happens if somebody gets in a fight, like at a bar and stuff? Are they tough on them too, the police?
Oh yes. I mean, in most countries in the world, you get bailed out in 24 hours. But Japan is not like that. Once you are arrested, the first is 3 days. Then you have 7 days, which is 10 days, and then you have 21 days before you can even get out to explain what happened.
Wait a minute, they put you in jail without asking questions?
They lock you in the police station.
Wow.
They will ask you questions, but
what if you're innocent? What if you're innocent? What happens?
It doesn't matter. It's a system that helps them to. I don't like it, to be honest. I don't see why you should be put behind bars for 21 days for a frivolous offense without being charged, without you getting access to your family or things like that. But it's a system that works for them. And
wow, so you're guilty in the U.S. It's you're innocent till proven guilty. There, it's you're guilty to proven innocent.
Exactly. You are guilty until you're proven innocent. And for you to actually prove that, you are going to be there to prove that. So it is better for you to stay out of trouble and just behave yourself.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing. So it's an entirely different environment. What about friendships over there? You said it took you a while to develop friendships. What's it like having Japanese friends?
Well, that's another ball game. That's another ball game because you have very few Japanese who wants to associate with foreigners.
Really?
Except they are in the foreign community. Though where we live, we are friendly with all of them, but I cannot say we are, like in America or Africa or Lagos, when you're having a barbecue, you invite your neighbors, right?
Yeah, sure.
So that doesn't really happen here. But like, I have a group of friends who are older that we go to gym together with my wife, and they're all above 60 actually. Nepal Okata. So they are all above 60, and they come to our house for barbecue two times or 3 times a year. And the other neighbors are just looking, who are these guys? So we enjoy that. But to have a Japanese friend, is difficult because they work a lot. They don't even have time for themselves.
Well, how do they have time for a relationship if they're married? If they're working that much, I mean, do they have a lot of divorce over there, or people just living together because they're just living together?
I think it's just a system where you are roommates. You may have read in most books that, or in most news, that it's a sexless society. I mean, people meet each other when they are tired. That is not healthy for the relationship. You work till late, you get home, you are tired, all you do is eat and sleep. So there is no life there. And then
That's
they have
amazing.
the night.
I mean, what about kids? Who takes care of the kids?
90% of the time, I'll say it's the wife that takes care of the kids, and that's just the way it is. It's a working society. I mean, families and social life is secondary.
Wow.
It's just different from other countries.
That's amazing. And do you sleep on the floor on rugs like carpets or stuff? Do
They
they do?
do. No, we don't. We have our king size bed, double king size bed. I mean, we are even my son doesn't. We don't sleep on the floor. No, no, no,
No,
no.
none of the floor
Yeah.
stuff. How in the
No,
world?
but when we go to onsen, we sleep on the floor because when you go to these hot springs and things like that, they still have the Japanese system where you sleep on the floor. But in our house, of course not. We sleep in the bed.
Huh, interesting. Wow, that's incredible. And are the houses expensive over there, Kingsley?
Yes, they are expensive, but if you work hard, I mean, people live according to their income, right? And you have to live in a place that is comfortable for you. People want to live in the heart of Tokyo, and
Right.
when you live in the heart of Tokyo, you are living in a very small apartment, and you are paying a lot of money for that. Whereas you can live 30 minutes away, and you have a big, huge compound to yourself. You have your own atrium, you have your own garden, you have your own outside the place. It just depends. It's your choice.
Yeah.
I would rather drive 30 minutes to go to work and have a place for me and my family to enjoy.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. It sounds interesting. So tell me a little bit about, so you're in Japan. Oh, you came from Nigeria. What's it like over there? I mean, look at there's 1.4 billion people in Africa in 54 countries. Nigeria is growing like crazy. I mean, it seems to me that's a place to be actually with if you want growth, right? So I mean,
Exactly.
I hear about it all the time. So I mean, do you go back? I know you do trading and all that. Do you go back to Nigeria much and work with other African countries, or what do you do?
I just came back from Nigeria about 2 weeks ago. I was in Nigeria 7 times last year. I love Nigeria. Uh, when I moved here in the early 90s, when I moved to Japan in the early 90s, Nigeria was going through, I may say, a difficult period. It's still going through that difficult period right now, like every other African countries. But what people don't realize, like personally, I have a trading company there. We just set up a security company. We are not licensed to do private and corporate security, which we started in December.
Yeah.
We're giving the license in November. We are actually
So
in
you
the
have a
process.
corporate security company.
Yes. So
So
we
do you
actually.
do like executive protection, or do you do
Oh
like?
yes, oh yes, oh yes. Executive protection, movement, protected banks and things like that. That just started. We just started that right now. So we are in the process of making things work with that. So we're also in the process of actually trying to move more towards the Africa region, because what people don't realize is that when I came to Asia, we're at the stage that Africa is right now, growing into a developed country
Yeah.
or continent. Uh, Africa right now has a lot of opportunities. People tend to see what is wrong with Africa. The first thing that is wrong with Africa are Africans who actually portray Africa in a very bad light to those who have never been to Africa before. So they all have the image that when you go to Africa, there are armed robbers everywhere, there is terrorists everywhere, there is this everywhere. But they have that in every country, even in America. In Europe, you have incident of mass shooting, this and that, but you don't use that to block investment.
Right.
Until we start propagating for Africa, until we start preaching Africa in a good light to people outside, we don't have investors. When I came to Japan, they didn't have a good recycle system for plastics. We have that
Wow.
problem in Africa right now, but it is something that we can grow out of when people are well educated about it. Now, Africa has the youngest workforce in the world right now. We have youth, we have strong, able-bodied men, well-educated men that can do any job. Our nurses, our doctors are going to Europe and Arab countries to work because they are well educated in their field.
Hmm.
But when we start promoting our countries to the outside world, investment will come in. But right now we are all, Nigeria is bad, Africa is bad, there is robbery, there is this. Yes, there are these things are happening, but it's happening in every other country in the world.
Yeah.
We have to pass through that process. Now, the major problem of doing business in Africa is power. If we get our power right, we get everything right. Even the issue of security. When
Hmm.
you have power, you know, 30% of that problem is solved already because you have cameras everywhere, you have surveillance everywhere, you have that over, and people will become conscious of that.
Yeah.
And subconsciously they'll start, going back from doing crime, and because they have more opportunities. People talk of, okay, we have kings and queens sending letters over here. That shows that they are intelligent in the cyberspace. So how do you convert their negative intelligence to positive intelligence to make them actually work for the government or work for companies that can use them in a better way?
Yeah. No,
there are just opportunities. There are just people that are intelligent enough to make things happen. When you look at Africa right now, or you look at Nigeria, for example, you have Microsoft, they have Facebook, they have all these people invest in Africa. You have Dangote, like you mentioned before, actually owning the biggest refinery in Africa, if not the world. So there's a lot of business opportunities, but how do you manage it?
Yeah.
Now in Asia, you have all the power you need, all the technology you need, all the internet connections you need to make things happen. We don't have that working very well for us right now in Africa.
Yeah.
But we also have to be able to integrate the African continent because it's huge.
Yeah.
When you have the United States of America, they all support each other. You don't have to change your internet to work to go to LA or go to New York. You use the same internet system.
Yeah.
Why don't we have that in Africa? Why do I have to get a different internet system when I go to Ghana that is just 30 minutes away from the border?
Yeah.
Or Cotonou that is just 2 minutes away from the border. So these are things that we need to put in place.
Yeah. Well, so I'm sure it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, right?
It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time.
Happen. You got the population in Africa. I heard a statistic recently said by the end of the century, Africa could be bigger than China and India combined.
We should be because the truth is we have a managerial problem. Let's forget about the oil, the platinum, the cobalt, everything we have there. We have the most fertile land in the world. 40% of agriculture is worth looking into by foreign investors. We have a fertile land.
That must be a good place for people like the Chinese to come, right?
They are going there. They are all going there. They are all taking advantage of the situation. But it is time that we that came here and learned one or two things to go back and reinvest in Africa. I've been here long enough. I've been here 30 years or more in Asia. So it's about time that people like us start going back, taking all our experiences, all we learned over here, take it back and reinvest it in those countries, and we'll start growing.
No, that's super. Well, it sounds like you've really adapted to it. Sounds like there's opportunities. So what are the biggest opportunities right now if you look at Japan? What's big right now?
Japan, you see, in every country or in every society, at the long run, the law of diminishing returns always set in.
Yeah.
The law of diminishing returns always set in. Japan has gone to its peak. Right now, it's just struggling to stay afloat, in my opinion, because when you look at the system they put in place, does not allow for quick change. They have these fundamentals, they have this structure that is laid in a way that you cannot break out of it. Like a lot of them are trying to go into blockchain, go into AI, robotics.
Well, I know you're big into blockchain yourself, right? So
yeah, I am.
You're big into it. So how is that over there? I know that you've got, besides Harry King, you got the Fintech Blockchain Consulting Group.
Yes.
So how is it? How they adapted to it over there?
Well, I mean, Japan was one of the first countries to actually adapt to cryptocurrency. They actually are the first country in the world to have 5 exchanges. Yeah. They embraced it when China and Korea said, we don't need it. They're like, okay, we'll take it. And that actually helped them a lot. Blockchain, they've missed out on the telecom boom. Yeah. Japan was very good with electrical gadgets. But when it came to the telephone boom, the mobile phone boom, they actually lost out a lot because Apple and the rest took over from them, and they lost out on that. But I think right now they are trying to embrace blockchain to be able to make things faster. I understand that they are using blockchain. Most of the banks are now using blockchain to help their intercountry transfer. As this make it faster, instead of 1 week or 3 days, it goes in 2-3 hours. So they are very much pro to blockchain. I mean, they're one of the countries that actually invest in blockchain.
Well, I mean, you're right at the right place, the right time, because you've got the fintech blockchain consultants specializing in blockchain, fintech, and related projects, crypto assets, structuring projects, and blockchain. So you got the right company. So if you listen to it, give Kingsley a call and go to the Kobayashi group. He's got a lot of good stuff happening there. So I got a question for you. What happened to Clean Industries? What's that all about? What were you doing there?
Clean Industry is a waste management company. It's a waste management company. And I have been trying to introduce it to Nigeria for a very long time. Actually took it there about 6 years ago, because there's a lot of waste in Africa, as you know, especially in Nigeria, where I come from. And I understand there's a lot of waste to a problem. And then there's power problem. So what Clean Industry does is they turn waste to power.
Wow,
so we have been able to kill two birds with one stone by teaching people to remove the waste from the street, put them together, and then we take it to our factory, and we change that to power. We're able to give power to the people. But because of government policies that are different from federal to state and things like that, we have not been able to do that yet. So I'm still pushing for that. Hopefully we are able to help big states like Lagos State, for example, that have almost 30-40 million people in that area, and the garbage is just piling up every day. I posted something on my Facebook official page where I went to a party and I saw teenagers who are supposed to be our future pouring plastics into the lagoon.
Wow.
It's horrific, because they are not educated. Instead of putting the garbage together in one place and then taking it away, it's easy for them to just carry it and dump it inside the water. That is not how it should be. I mean, you have people drinking, driving in the best cars in the world, and then they just drink their water, they throw the pet bottle away. But this is all education, awareness. People have to create awareness. When I came to Japan, it was like that. People don't understand that we are putting all garbage together, but gradually, the awareness that you need to separate plastic from paper, from this, came in, and they embrace it. I also believe we can embrace it in Africa, we can embrace it in Nigeria, but the awareness has to be there. It's a gradual process.
Interesting. So it must be interesting. You must meet a lot of really interesting, famous people out of there walking around the streets because you're in Tokyo, right?
Yeah, definitely. And
you like actors and stuff, and famous politicians walking around? Are they just walking around? Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I also have the entertainment side of business. I mean, the entertainment industry too, in the night industry, and that has given me the opportunity to meet a lot of people in the world. I've met a lot of people in the world, a lot of famous people. I've met them, a lot of actors.
Were they nice, Kingsley, when you would meet them over there? Because I know when I lived over in Eastern Europe, in Russia, actually, they would come over. They would be really nice because they were afraid. They didn't understand what was going on, so they were.
Well, I mean, they were really nice, to be honest. May he so rest in peace. When I met Dennis Hopper actually came to Japan with DiCaprio when DiCaprio was young, and I met them. Dennis Hopper was a very nice human being. This guy, I met P Diddy, I met all of them. 24 Hours, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah,
met a lot of people, and they are nice. Steve Wonder, Badam, all of them.
Badam over there trying to look for some tournaments, or what was he doing?
They were just having fun. After their meetings, you need to go have fun somewhere. So, I mean, Japan is safe. Yeah,
that's great.
Japan is relatively safe that you can walk. I remember when PDD came to one of my clubs during on my birthday. We ended up going to Seoul train together on that very day. In my car, there was no problem. You don't actually need those security to take care of you. You don't need nobody's going to shoot you down here. Like I say,
that's amazing. So you were with P Diddy, huh?
Oh, that was a long time ago, yeah.
Wow, that's
You know.
amazing. So you like it there? Do you I mean there's a lot of interesting custom and stuff. Do you go to some of the other islands? Do you go up into the mountains where they got the snow monkeys and all that? Do you go up there? And because I remember when I grew up in Pennsylvania, one of the universities there, Bucknell, had snow monkeys, Japanese snow monkeys, and they were like so friendly. They would like, yeah, they were friendly. I don't know what to say. They didn't want to be disturbed, and you couldn't look them in the eye. They didn't like it, but they were, not aggressive for sure.
Yeah, me and my family, we travel a lot. We go to a lot of places. We like hot springs. We go to Okinawa. We go to mountains and things like that. But you have to realize I'm an African man. I don't like snow.
No,
So
no snow.
no, I don't. If it's cold, you
Now,
know.
do you ski, Kingsley? Do you go up skiing up in the mountains or no?
No, hell no.
No.
Hell no. I would do anything on land. I would do some on water. But when you say go skiing, no, I am not doing that skiing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a snowman. I
Uh,
am the kind of guy that would do any land sport. I would do any land thing. I would do any water thing. But
Somebody
I don't want
says,
to break my
"Listen,
legs. I
Kingsley,
have
we're
a
going to go
respiratory.
sledding up in the mountains." You're probably not going to
Nah,
go.
nah, nah, nah. I'll leave that to the younger generation to do that.
Wow, that's amazing. So, you look at it right now. What's your prediction for Japan over the next 5 years? What do you think is going to happen there? And then let's talk about what's going to happen in Africa because I hear a lot of amazing things all over. But what's your prediction for Japan?
Japan is fighting a very low birth rate right now. They are beginning to realize it, but this is a problem that has been there for the past years, and they just kind of overlook it. And now they realize that the population is shrinking.
Mhm.
They have a lot of older people in the country. People are not interested in having children anymore because it's difficult to raise children, and it's just different here. So they are trying to encourage
Why
it,
is
but I
it
think
different, Kingsley? Why is it hard to raise kids?
because there are no incentives for the women to have kids. I mean, there are no you have women who are forced to go back to work very early after giving birth to their kids.
Right.
There is no welfare support for children. I mean, the place they still give 5,000 a year, which is about $4,000 a month to a kid. That is not
Wow.
even helpful. Although they are trying to do a lot of other things right now to support. So I see them having a problem with human resources, with personnel to work for them. And I mean, that may be one of the reasons why they are going into robotics a lot. They have a lot of robotic companies coming up, AI and things like that, which is good for them. But the truth is, you still need a human touch, and it's a country that is very strict on foreign migration
Yeah.
into the country. They have very strict rules, so how do they balance this out is going to be their challenge in the nearest future, because
That's
without
interesting.
human beings, you cannot really do nothing.
So, it's we're coming up to the top of the show. So, what are your closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you? And what are you looking for, Kingsley? What's trips your trigger? What are you looking for right now?
Well, Kingsley Kobayashi Group as a whole, uh, I think we've been doing okay so far. My wife is now in charge of Arc Reform, a reform company that does construction, reform your homes and things like that. Is growing. Uh, we are also going into security company in Africa. We are into real estate. We are building houses in Africa, in Nigeria, to be precise. We also have the herbal medicine there that we are trying to give to people so that they are able to afford it, to be able to take care of their health, awareness again. So what we are looking for right now are people, like-minded people, who are willing to invest in Africa, who are willing to invest in Japan, people to collaborate with. We are not actually looking for 100% investors. No, we are looking for people that we can work with to get to the next level. Uh, at my age and time, my most important thing is that what legacy can we leave behind? What impact can we have
Yeah.
in the society? What influence can we have in the African society? How do we help these nations to be able to get to the next level? How do we propagate them in a positive light?
Yeah.
Because the news about Africa is just too negative that even we Africans are in the mood of saying Africa is very bad or Nigeria is that very bad. That country will never be good. That is negative, negative.
Yeah.
You know, I go to countries, I've been to more than 61 countries in the world, and I understand that they're all going through a very difficult time, but they still have a propaganda to promote their country.
Yeah.
They still promote their country. And so if we can start promoting our country, if we can start talking about it, that Nigeria has a lot of opportunities,
Yeah.
and then we are able to bring in people who are security conscious to help us, people that can help us with power. Because these people will not come in if you are telling them your house is bad.
Yeah.
You got to tell them your house is good and make sure when they come, they are taken care of and they go back with their money. Yes, government policies is a problem in Africa because there's change of government every other day. But even at that, we people can change a lot of things. The younger generation are there to be led properly.
Yeah.
So our major aim right now is to help the next generation in securing a better future for them and their children.
No, that's great. So, oops, sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So now you've you've done amazing things in 10 years to do what you've done. So hats off to you. Just incredible and a good guy. So everybody out there, to all my audience out there, if you want to go to Japan, you want to talk to somebody that's incredible. Kingsley, what's the best way to get a hold of you? LinkedIn, Facebook. What's the best way?
LinkedIn is good. Facebook is good. Social media, Kobayashi Group. You can just Google my name, Kingsley Kobayashi. You have all the information there. And I also want to thank you, Gary. I know you are doing a lot of work with Africa. You have brought up a lot of startup companies from Nigeria and put them in a good environment for them to grow. I really appreciate that. We need more people like you who are willing to bring these people out of Africa, teach them a little bit, and then they can go back and impart on their country and their people. And when they go there, they should not try to lord over them. This is the problem investors have in Africa. They go there, they know the governor or they know somebody in the government, and then you go to a village or a town and you want to lord over them. Of course,
Yeah.
they will try to protect themselves. But if you go there to work with them,
Yeah.
if you go there and make them realize that you're going to be working together to realize the same goal for their betterment, of course they are willing to work with you. And that is what you have done, and I appreciate you for that. And thank you for having me here today. Uh,
No,
we're
it's
just
great
happy.
to have you. My grandmother immigrated from North Africa, and when she was 13 years old, and she came over, and she had a dream, and my grandfather had a dream too. So, she didn't have the chance to give back a little bit, but we sure do. And so brother, I appreciate you taking your time out of your schedule. To all the listeners all over the world, now we're in 55 countries. GSD, we've had over 300,000 viewers sometimes on different shows that we've had. So I want to thank you very much for attending this edition of GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Stay tuned for another exciting edition coming up on Thursday. Kingsley, thanks for taking time out of your busy
Thank you,
schedule.
Gary.
Thanks to my audience. Stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. And God bless all of you. Take care. Thank you.